Hello and welcome back. It is me again, and today we are starting on a new character, and that character is Judas. Another character I consider fairly easy. And since today is the first day with Judas, that means we are talking about Judas, the origin of Judas. Let me take this floor at least to explain how Judas works and why I consider Judas to be an easy character. We still have, I think, 4 more characters, including Judas, that I consider easy before we finally move on to more intermediate characters. Fun fact. But basically... Okay, that's cool. Basically, although Judas's health is a problem, and Judas starts off with low range, otherwise, Judas is a pretty great character thanks to having the dark arts always with him. Very easy. It is an excellent tool both offensively and defensively, and once you get used to it, it makes Judas a pretty easy character. Again, just health is the main issue, but that only lasts, like, the first few floors, you know? And then you either live or die, and then it's settled. Yeah, I need to maybe be using that more. The stated purpose of doing greedier mode very first with each character is to acclimate myself to that character again, because it has been a while since I've played some of these. So I should intentionally try to get used to using the dark arts again. You know, as I do. Normal sentences to say. But yes, the dark arts not only allows me to intercept all enemies and projectiles that I hover over, it also gives me a damage boost after the fact, depending on how many I've moved through. And also does AoE damage once the effect ends. And the damage boost as well as the AoE damage are both linked to how high my combo is. Again, very powerful once you get used to it. $15 even, huh? Even Steven. Well, none of those are great, but I will invest a little bit. That paid off. That's pretty good. Sure. It's early enough. I can take it. I'll be fine. I'll be just fine. And I mean, it's not that bad of an item. It's just not favored. Cool. Oh, I got a penny out of it, though, so, you know, that's neat. I got a second penny out of it. Oh, okay. Good. I was worried that they would double team me at that rate. Ooh, okay, that's pretty good. Huh. I remember fruitcake being worse. That was so dumb of me. I can't believe I did that. And that's a prime reason why fruitcake scares me, though. I have one heart, and it might explode in my face. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, that scared me. Stop being confused. Get down here. I need you to die quickly now. Oh. Okay. That worked pretty well. Huh. Neat. Okay, let's get into talking about Judas. First of all, let me state the obvious here. Judas is, you know, the guy that betrayed Jesus in the Bible. That is what he is famous for. Oh, I keep expecting some of these tears to explode. I kind of want them to. Oh. But I need to aim it just right. Oh. Okay. Come on. Come on, exploding tear. You can do it. I'm not actually sure if it works like this. Maybe it doesn't. It literally just did. Okay, cool. And I got a free key out of it. Yeah. Breaking rocks should be easier than hoping for a specific explosion. And I don't know why I was so tied to that one specific rock. Let me focus on this rock. So, anyway, yeah, Judas, the guy who betrayed Jesus. Nice and simple, and yep, that's it, we're done. Great. I jest, I kid. I just something. Oh. Okay, more range is fine. Wait, that literally the same pills I got last time? That's kind of funny. I need health. What do I do for more health? I take that. Yes, sir. Oh, that's good. Anyway, let's talk about the name of Judas. Why Judas is called Judas Iscariot, what that name means, and then we'll get into more depth of, like, who Judas was, and, you know, what he did and why, and different beliefs about that as well. So, first of all, the name Judas is really Judas, because, you know, the J sound is more recent to his name than you'd expect. More recent to... Okay, I'm not a linguist, but the J sound didn't really exist in Latin for a while. It was an I for a long time, so it would have been Judas again. The Hebrew origin of his name is Yehuda, and that meaning is God is praised, or praise Yahweh. Now, keep in mind, like, maybe that sounds very ironic to you, and maybe it rightfully is, but also a lot of names of Jewish people in the, especially, like, you know, nearly 2,000 years ago. Is that Lingerbean? Lingerbean is pretty good. Actually, very good. Yeah, I'll take that. A lot of names in Judea, in and around Judea, would have been kind of similar. They're all, most of them, especially the male names, are all, you know, relating to Yahweh and praising him and stuff like that. So, again, maybe still rightfully ironic, but not quite the pure irony that it may initially seem, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm making no sense at all. I'm certainly not making even a single penny with this series. But that's okay. Get him. Nice. Ooh, yeah. Gladly accept more damage, and I haven't used Dark Arts in a hot minute here. Oh. Okay, cool. Historically, Judas was actually a fairly common name, common Jewish name, especially in the Second Temple period. It is the same name, in fact, as Judah, the patriarch of the Israelite tribe from which the name Jew, or Yehudi, eventually derives. Fun fact. Also, I believe there are 2 Judases among Jesus' followers, but they are differentiated from each other a bit whenever they're referenced, from what I recall, to make it clear which one is which. Which one eventually, you know, I'm... Wait, no, I have the bombs for this. Let's just do that. Oh, amazing. Black candle, my beloved. Okay. Of course, nowadays the name Judas is almost synonymous with traitor because of his, legacy and all. But this does mean that in the ancient world, at least, Judas was considered an honorable, even patriotic name, if you will. And I take you. And we're at max fire rate. That's great. That's great. I still have one more free key. Oh, and I am glad I came to visit this before buying anything else. I mean, would have been even better if I came here very first, but oh well. Nice! Let's use the dark arts. Okay, not surprising. Cool. Not surprising. No, although the health is nice. No, what else? Maybe sulfuric acid? I guess. I mean, I actually have a decent build at this point, so, whatever goes. Although, what I need most is health to ensure that I live through Ultra Greedier's attacks. Or that! That was gross. Disgusting. Get out here. Yay! Extra money! Nice. Now let's talk about Judas's last name, if you think it's a last name, Iscariot. The Greek for his last name is Iskariotes, and there are several theories as to what it means. The most common theory is that it relates to geography. That this is actually not Iscariot, but Ish-Carioth. That is man from Carioth. So it's a, the regional identifier, if you will. Which was very common throughout the world up until the bubonic plague, if I recall correctly. Interesting. I really wanted this to be able to search for secret rooms. Let me do that briefly now. Still nothing. Still nothing. Okay. I still have here to check. Well, that was an explosion. And, yep, okay. So it's down below, I guess. I don't care for any of those. I don't care for any of those. I mean, I could take a cube of meat and that'd be kind of cute. Oh. To have one of each, I'm almost tempted to get that, but I won't. I'll hold off. Yeah. Oh, I need to kill him now! Oh. So close. Oh! Oh! I didn't see that. I was trying to read again. Yeah, so from what I recall from history, it was really the Black Plague, the bubonic plague that forced a lot of the population into city centers because people were, dying a lot. And because of that, or, no, sorry, it created a lot of population relocation, I guess is the correct understanding of it. Whoa. Okay. And because of that, the concept of a last name or family name almost became necessary in history starting from that point, because you had too many people that were like John from Hill Valley or whatever. Hill Valley is not a European name of anywhere, but you know, it's the example that matters. I guess I just have like Back to the Future on the brain or something. I don't know. Nice. Yeah, I'm winning. And this is why Tainted Judas is an easy character. I still haven't used Dark Arts in a while. I really just use it for the Cursed Room, don't I? Late game. Wait a minute. There we are. Almost forgot. Whoa. So once more, Iscariot is the first and most common understanding of his name, of his last name. Iscariot would have been a town in southern Judea, mentioned in Joshua 15:25 and Amos 2:2. If this is correct, Judas may have been the only non-Galilean apostle, setting him apart from the others. I just wanted that penny. But there are two more popular interpretations of what his name means. The next is Sicarius, which is Latin for dagger man. Oh, hello. I have a lot of damage, but I can't really make use of you in Ultra Greedier, but I don't care either, so I'll just go with you. And I really am hoping for, like, there's options or more options or something. I mean, Void isn't bad, I guess. It's not bad either. I only need one more, and everything's half off. I got damage down, luck down. Everything else... well, most everything else up. Okay. Not bad, not terrible. Can I get a... it is important that I find a shop with soul hearts. But also, I've got 2 more floors, so... come on, give me that third needle, or at the very least... I can get damage back up. Let me look. Okay. I won't try any longer for that. Oh, great. Could you give me something good, at least? Whoa. Sure. Strength. Hierophant. Okay. That's the wrong thing. Another strength. Oh. You know? I might take it. Why not? Why not? And did I check over here? Okay, well, now I did. Slightly longer greed mode today by the looks of things then, since I'll have an extra floor, but at least I won't have lost, you know? At least I don't suspect I will. Yeah, this is pretty good. Pretty good run. I would like to formally apologize to Fruitcake, because it's pretty good. This run. I feel like it has still ruined another run or 2 of mine in the past. I think. Maybe. I don't know, maybe that's like fake news or something. Okay, next. Do I really want to redo this floor? I guess so. Yeah, there's... is this floor better or worse than next floor? That's the question. Also, my pennies are just gone from that. Okay. Do I keep the extra health when I use this? I should, right? I guess? Maybe? I'm uncertain. I will pay close attention to my health when I leave this room. Well, my health has changed now, so it's a little difficult to tell. Okay, there we go. Got him done. You're a little energetic, aren't you? Oh. Okay. Huh. Wasn't sure how that would work. Hold on, wait a minute. There, okay. I just didn't get the proc. Well, okay, one more attempt. Cool. Nice. Oh, I should have used the other strength in here since I'm keeping Soul of Apollyon. Not that Soul of Apollyon is an amazing item, but it's, you know, with my stats, it's pretty good. This run. Can you die? Thank you. Do not? Okay. Come on. Okay, there we go. Nah. Gross. Yeah, gross. And nothing else I really want, I guess. So we redo it. Yay! Anyway, Sicarius again. Ooh. There it is. There is Spun. And I'm smaller. Wait a minute. Nice. Okay, that is fantastic. Thank you, game. Now, can I get... There's more options? No, but I can get smaller. And a pretty fly. Okay, good to keep in mind. I really should make more of an effort to try and remember which pills are which. I've been pretty bad at that recently. So, Sicarius means assassin or dagger man, and I was an... Okay. Great. Yeah, okay. I'll take that. Don't forget to test. That's probably good enough with my luck. Okay. And then we go over here. Hey, bud. Bye, bud. Nice! And we out of there. I'll just bomb you. I don't care about a health up. Cool. So, the name Sicarius actually comes from Sicarii, which is a group of violent Jewish zealots who opposed Roman occupation. Interestingly enough, this could suggest Judas had political revolutionary ties or was, at the very least, seen as a radical. However, this link is anachronistic for the time of Jesus and was not widely accepted by scholars. Aww. I didn't know it was anachronistic, because I was familiar with that theory previously. I just thought it was a really neat idea. Judas Dagger Man. But I guess it's not historically accurate. I'll use that, why not? And we have a strength! They're looking at me! Ah! They look too hard. I caved. I'm gonna lose my black heart. Then again, I suppose it gave me a black heart in the first place, didn't it? Let's see, now the third theory for where Judas's name comes from is that it is a corrupted or symbolic title. Some theories suggest that Iscariot may have been a nickname or later editorial addition, possibly implying traitor or used to distinguish him from other Judases, such as Judas Thaddeus, again, another one of Jesus's 12 disciples. And we have even more Loki too. There we are. Let's use my items, shall we? One of my items, at least. Yep. Oh, I shouldn't have left the room early. Wasn't thinking. That's fine. This is hardly a problem for me at this stage. Right? 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 Hopefully. Probably. That was a... that was a little embarrassing. Just how badly I missed there. Don't worry about it. Stop giving me devil deals. I'll take the pills, though. Thank you for the pills. Bye-bye. Anyway, that's enough for the name of Judas. Now let's talk about the man himself. As I was slowly drifting downwards, kind of scary. More range? Perhaps. Perhaps. Ooh, free red chest. Oh, no! You really gave me 3 devil deals in a row when I had a 30% chance with each? You better give me coal. Good, good, good. Ugh. Okay, is there any way I could maybe secure an angel room? Double down, I guess. I'll take it. I do need more soul hearts, but I'll forgo it. I'll take that. Hey, wait a minute. Bye-bye money. Oh, I'm 1 penny short. Oh. Never mind. Nice. It did count. Wasn't sure. Boom. Really? I'll take Lil Delirium, I guess, and... not worth it. That was... Oh, man. Hashi! Not great. I really don't need to be worrying about this. You know? No! My build is already fine as is. But, oh well. I'm gonna say it's not there. And I wish all my tiers weren't green so I could actually see which one of... Okay, there we are. Which ones are... Ugh. Well, you know, why not? I can't see which ones are acidic anymore. And I don't have anything else to get, do I? Not really. At this point, I'm hoping for a spare penny from a pot, and there were none. Okay, cool. Bye-bye. So, broadly going over everything that we know about Judas. That's what we're doing now. Yeah, I'll use that. I think the locust was the right play here. The cricket leg, or whatever it is. Is it even a... whatever. Fly leg, if you will, since I kept referring to them as flies. Judas was one of Jesus's 12 chosen apostles, of course. He's often identified as the treasurer of the group, which can be interpreted from John 12, verse 6, managing their money bag. Curious. Judas betrayed Jesus to the chief priests and elders for 30 pieces of silver, as you can see in Matthew chapter 26, verses 14 through 16, and he led the temple guards to the Garden of Gethsemane, identifying Jesus with a kiss in Mark 14, 44 through 45, and Luke 22, 47 through 48. The Gospels differ or remain ambiguous in regards to a few different details here. So John says that Judas was greedy and a thief in John 12:6. Luke and John both say that Satan entered Judas before the betrayal, as in Luke 22:3 and John 13:27. Matthew says that the motive was implied to be financial from Matthew 26:15, and some scholars suggest possible political motives, such as disillusionment with Jesus' non-violent messianic role. Honestly, I find the last one pretty convincing. I find several of those persuasive, you know? Stop it. Oh, no, right. Actually, that was a foregone conclusion. I shouldn't have been mad about that. Blow you up. Wish I had more luck, but oh well. What can you do? Did I get that black heart? I did. Okay. There are two accounts in the New Testament of Judas's death. The first is given in Matthew 27, verses 3 through 10. I guess it's not here. And it's here! Okay, cool. Spin down dice! I enjoy the spin down dice. I need to take it because it's so rare. But I don't know the best way to actually use it without looking up a guide, to be perfectly honest with you. Also, I don't want to get rid of my black heart, but honestly, it doesn't really matter either, so... What do you turn into? This may be the smallest I've ever been. Oh, boy. Oh. Spider baby. Giant spider baby. I don't know what else to use the spin down die with. Do I? No, I passed up the other opportunity. Wait a minute. I am smaller. Excellent. Can I move between rocks yet? I might be able to, although I don't have a great place to test this, do I? What was that? Oh, I did it! The corner trick! Yes! I am small enough for this to work. Oh, that is great. That is really funny. I mean, I'm not intending to use that in a practical manner because that would hurt me a lot. I don't want to get bigger, but that is way too worthwhile. Not only is it a health up, but 0.5 or 1.5 times damage multiplier. Can't give it up. Not with this much damage, Anyway, what was I talking about? So, first death of Judas recorded, again in Matthew 27, 3 through 10, says that Judas felt remorse, returned his 30 pieces of silver, and then hung himself. The priests then used the money to buy the Field of Blood, which is called Akeldama, where I believe he was buried then. Something like that. The second account of Judas's death is given in Acts chapter 1, verses 18 through 19. Yera. What would I use Yera on? I guess the money. Yeah, okay, let's... Also, I am very curious, though. More spiders. Ooh! Hello. I won't, but it's a fun thought, you know? Also, it does not put everything down to 0 anymore. That was changed a while ago. Which is sad, but, you know, understandable. So Acts, chapter 1, verses 18 through 19 mentions that Judas bought a field with the silver and fell headlong, bursting forth, bursting open and dying gruesomely. This version focuses less on remorse and more on divine retribution, of course, and Yera. The differences have led to centuries of debate about how to reconcile the accounts. One theory I've heard is that the account in Acts, where he, bursts open... I mean, both mention, a field being purchased where he was eventually buried, right? But, yeah, one attempt at reconciliation is to say that when someone hangs themselves... Very pleasant conversation, I know. And isn't discovered for a while, that their body, rots and then can burst open if it falls down to the ground. Finally! I want both of these. I really do. Oh! Cool. Didn't mean to do that, but okay. Yeah. Offense over defense. Well, I'm gonna have one more chance to use the spin down die on absolutely nothing at all. Let's see, I don't think it's mentioned in the remainder of my notes, but I have heard... Actually, I read it, in fact, not just heard, in my study Bible, which, again, I use the NRSV when I have a choice of a version to read. So, it is a very scholarly version of the Bible, mind you. That is what it is known for. That's why I like it. And that's also why I first encountered it in university. In a very secular class about the Bible, but still. More locusts. Go get them. Great start. Truly wonderful. Anyway, I recall reading in that study Bible, although it's not here in the remainder of my notes, that 30 pieces of silver is notable for being the price of a slave, or rather, compensation for a slave dying. So in other words, slavery was permitted in Israel in ancient times. I don't think it was that common, but it was permitted. And it certainly was not chattel slavery, Not that that makes it that much better, and it's, I think, a good thing for everyone that we're able to live in a world without slavery. But anyway, this please my tears. I'm so confused. That was so strange. Anyway, today isn't about slavery though, but just making the point that 30 pieces of silver, I don't recall where in the Old Testament, but I believe it says that if you kill someone else's slave, you owe them 30 pieces of silver as compensation, which is like, no, more than that. Not more than that in a numeric sense. More specifically than that, I think it was if an ox that you own gores someone else's slave to death, you owe them 30 pieces of silver, which is like a month's wages for, you know, financial relevancy here. And so it's fascinating that that's the amount that was agreed upon according to, you know, the version of Judas's betrayal as portrayed in Matthew, you know, where the famous 30 pieces of silver story comes from in the first place. Ow. No more money. All out of money. What exactly does that mean in regards to Jesus and Jesus' betrayal? Good question. But it is a notable coincidence, at least. Anyway, Judas's betrayal is portrayed as fulfilling prophecy, especially in the Gospel of John, and it raises the classic theological question, was Judas predestined to betray Jesus? Because throughout the Gospels, especially in John, Jesus keeps prophesying that he will die, and in fact he will be betrayed, and the other Gospels even make a point of saying, Judas, the betrayer, or Judas, the man who would go on to betray Jesus. That is how he is referred to a lot of the time. So, does that mean he was predestined to do it? His role is both necessary to bring about the crucifixion and condemned at the same time, creating moral and theological tension. Jesus refers to Judas as the son of perdition in John 17:12, suggesting his doom was foreordained. In the Gospel of Judas, which is a Gnostic text, mind you, Judas is presented as acting at Jesus' own request, helping him to escape the material world. This reflects some of the Gnostic beliefs where spiritual knowledge is valued and the material world is often evil. But it's not canonical at all. Gnosticism was a parasite on early Christianity, so... Anyway, it offered early insight into early Christian diversity and reinterpretation of Judas. Later interpretations, Christian tradition more generally, has seen Judas as an archetype of betrayal and treachery, and his name is, again, synonymous with traitor in Western culture. He appears in Dante's Inferno in the deepest circle of hell, chewed by Satan. In medieval mystery plays, he was often portrayed with exaggerated villainy, and modern works sometimes reinterpret Judas more sympathetically, such as in Jesus Christ Superstar. In the modern day, some scholars and theologians explore the possibility of redemption for Judas, while others see him as a tragic figure caught between divine purpose and personal failure. And that will do it for today. I personally want to view him as a more sympathetic character, but that still, doesn't forgive his actions. They are still just as condemnable as before. But, I haven't done this episode yet, but I'm planning to do another episode on the Pharisees, and I really find a lot of value in trying to take these historical villain-type representations or characters or archetypes and really trying to understand them in their own context and see if they are still just as villainous. Like, a certain dictator in World War II, pretty villainous even within his own context. But the Pharisees, what they did was wrong, horrible even, condemning an innocent man to death, but they had their reasons. They weren't evil, And I want to give Judas that same, or at least a similar sort of charitable interpretation. Like, again, the Gospels seem to speculate that it was a monetary motive, but I think I still lean towards the political motive idea, and that would tie in nicely with him, the name Iscariot being in reference to the Iscariot? Where was that? Let me look for that in my notes. Sicarii, duh. Yeah, okay. The Sicarii, to pronounce it correctly, I guess. the violent Jewish zealots who opposed Roman occupation. Basically, Judas's betrayal would have been saying that he doesn't believe a peaceful approach could work, or a pacifist approach that Jesus provided it to. Since, Jesus was kind of sympathetic towards Rome, or at least he was not a revolutionary like so many of the Jews wanted the Messiah to be. Anyway, that's enough prattling. I'm done. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.